was Andrew Jackson. And it's really sad because, you know, I used to think, man, Andrew Jackson is a great guy because it said on Andrew Jackson's tombstone, I killed the bank. That's what he literally had engraved upon his tombstone. Because from the beginning of our nation's history, the central bankers wanted to enslave us through a national, central bank. And there were two central banks before our current central bank, the Federal Reserve, which is from 1913. But Andrew Jackson killed the second central bank, and he made that his mission to fight against, and he considered it his greatest achievement of his life, and it was a great achievement because the Federal Reserve System, steals our money and steals the value of our money through inflation, and all these bankers, they lend all this money to our government at interest, when in reality our government has the power to make their own money. But instead, they borrow it from a private bank and pay interest for no reason except to enrich these uber-wealthy bankers. And so Andrew Jackson was one who stood up for our financial freedom as Americans and fought against the bank. But, his personal life was not something that we should have great respect for. He was a sinful man in his personal life. And one of the things that he did that was scandalous was that he married a divorced woman. And that was something that was at the time considered very scandalous. Now today, that's not scandalous at all. I mean, it's just totally accepted. But at the time, our country was in a different place spiritually and morally. But not only did he marry a divorced woman, but then it came out that when he married her, the paperwork on her divorce had not technically gone through, which meant that legally, for some months, she was married to two husbands at the same time on paper legally. So this was a horrific scandal in those days, and people were really upset about it. And right before Andrew Jackson was inaugurated, his wife died right before he was inaugurated. And people said, God has struck down his wife so that the White House would not be corrupted with this whorish woman. I mean, that's what people said, because they said, this woman who's married to two husbands. This, I forget what they called her. I don't know if it would be bigamy, since gami sounds like the Greek word for woman, or I guess marriage, so yeah. So bigamy, they called her, this bigamist or whatever, because she's married to two husbands and everything. But today, stuff like that, I mean, people wouldn't even bat an eye at that. People didn't even bat an eye about, Ronald Reagan being divorced and remarried and stuff. It didn't even matter at that point. But then the presidents now have to take it to a new level, where they're just committing adultery in the White House office with young Jewish interns named Monica Lewinsky or whatever. And who knows what our current president is doing. It's